Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Drew T. Jackson. Drew is the founder of Drew T. Jackson Coaching, Speaking, and Training. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Drew T. Jackson. Drew, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Mohammed.
Thank you so much. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who are you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
Yeah, well, I have always known that I wanted to be a speaker, trainer. And for many years, I was a pastor in a church and using those skill sets to speak and train others. But I was sending emails out to my congregation, and they got in the hands of some business leaders in the town I was living in. And the business leaders really liked what they were reading. They were interested in it. And through that process, I've been able to work with many businesses, Chick-fil-A, Linux, Habitat for Humanity. And through that process, I became a full-time coach, speaker, and trainer.
That's amazing. What are the top 3 reasons why do people fail?
I'll tell the top 3 reasons why I failed. So they would be, for me, inexperience, optimism, meaning only focusing on positive things and not thinking about the reality of the situation that I was in. And then number 3, rigidity. So being so rigid and so stuck on my plan that I had made that I wasn't able to adapt and change my perspective and my decisions.
What is your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Great question. So I actually have a chapter about this in my book, The Executive Leader's Handbook. And I talk about failure, and I believe that character failures are the greatest failures we can have. And my greatest character failure actually happened at a very young age, which is probably a saving grace for me. But when I was in high school, my senior year in high school, I went on a trip with our choir and I drank alcohol underage. I got drunk and I was expelled from school. Barely was able to graduate with my class. And through that process, I learned that failure isn't final. And I learned that I had to move on from my failures, and I had to recognize and separate myself and who I was as a person from the failures and the mistakes that I've made.
Based on your experience, what are the top 3 success secrets that others can model from?
That's great. So Jim Rohn says you're an average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So I think people is the number 1 success secret. Surround yourself with great people that are going in the same direction that you are. Number 2, people again, but it's find a good mentor. So find someone that is living your dream and doing what you want to do one day, and then ask them to lunch. Or there's so much we can do virtually through social media. You can ask questions through social media and direct messaging. And then the third one would be model successful habits. So all throughout my life, if I was a young leader in an organization, instead of acting like my fellow young leaders, I would act like the CEO. I would dress like the CEO. I would talk like the CEO, because that's where I was trying to go.
So not modeling a success, like modeling the success habits.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What motivates you within?
Well, my purpose, and I have it on the wall if people can see it, is my dream is to help you live yours. And so I'm very motivated, very driven by that purpose, that I believe that's what I was put on earth to do.
What is your company's motto?
Yeah, which, I kind of answered that already, but it's my same purpose and motto, which is my dream is to help you live yours. So I try to bring that into every interaction that I have with my clients.
Who is your ideal client?
So my ideal client would be small business owners and operators with 50 to 400 employees. And what I do is I'll work with the owner, operator, and their senior leadership team through coaching. And then I'll work with the rest of the leadership team through training, leadership training.
How do you find your ideal client?
So a lot of referrals in business, which is good, right? It can be good and bad if you're only relying on that. But referrals for sure, by exceeding expectations and having my clients refer me. And then number two, through efforts through LinkedIn outreach.
How do you engage your ideal client?
So the way that I can engage with my clients is I have some free giveaways, some ebooks and various things like that, the material that I give away. And if anybody wants to message me after this and get any of my content on how to retain top talent in your organization, I'd be more than happy to give you that. And so through those giveaways, I engage with them, and then we see if it's a fit from there.
What are your well-defined products or services?
So my two top services and what I spend the majority of my time doing is going to be executive coaching. I meet with over 50 clients a month in that way, and then with leadership development training. So either virtually or in person, doing group training around leadership and communication, which I believe is the foundation of leadership.
Why someone should buy from you?
Well, because we get results, Mohammed, right? That's the name of the game. I get results. I figure out what my clients want, and then I help them achieve those goals.
How do you crush your competition?
What competition? I'm in competition with myself, right? That's an interesting question. What I do or how I try to think, my mindset is my clients don't owe me anything. So every day I'm competing for my clients that I already have and making sure that they aren't even interested in speaking to someone else because they're getting so many good results from what we're doing.
How do you deliver a 5-star client experience?
That would be through exceeding expectations. So I believe one of my core values over my shoulder here, I believe that expectations, finding out what the expectations of my clients are, that's the foundation or the floor that I begin with. And where I want to get to with my clients is way up here. So first I have to find out what their expectation is, and then we go above and beyond that.
How do you convert your clients into brand ambassadors?
Probably my other core value, which is cultivating trust. So especially in the coaching experience, it's got to be a safe place where people feel like they can share their deepest, darkest secrets. And so cultivating that trust makes people feel a desire to go and tell others about how they can achieve the same kind of experiences.
How do you handle rejections?
Ooh, rejection. I probably don't handle rejection well. I can tend to take it personally, but I get over things fast. So maybe 10, 15 minutes, whether I'm rejected or I'm angry about something, frustrated about an interaction, I'll give myself about 15 minutes to be upset about it. And then we got to move on. There's stuff to do.
How do you handle an angry client?
With this one, I actually write about this in my book as well. I try to understand. So I try to make the relationship right, not to be right and prove a point. So seek to understand. It's usually a miscommunication if there's anger there, and then resolve that miscommunication.
We are about to move into lightning round. That means quick questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What are you grateful for today?
What I'm grateful for every day is life, health, strength, hope, peace, and a future. Those are the 6 things.
How do you start your day?
With a cup of tea now. It was coffee, but I got to lower that caffeine intake. So a cup of tea and some wisdom literature, whether it's a proverb or a little book that I read.
How young are you?
39. Don't let the bald head confuse you, Muhammad. I don't have a nice head of hair like you.
You are not 39. You are 18 years old with 21 years experience.
Hey, there you go. I like that.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
Oh, yeah. I love this question. I want to be the #1 training company as it relates to executive leadership.
What is your plan to achieve your goal?
Well, I want to keep doing what I'm doing. We're getting great results. I want to, or I plan to, I'm going to release this book that I've been talking about, and then a training subsequent to that. And then my goal will be to develop other trainers who can teach this material as well, and we can replicate the success all over the country and all over the world.
How will you feel in case you don't achieve your goal?
Not an option, Muhammad. It's not an option. We're going to achieve it. And whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, don't change the goal, change the timeline.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
That's that same thing I said earlier with, I'll give myself about 10, 15 minutes to get frustrated about it, to think why I'm upset about it. And then I've got to get over it. There's too much going on. I got 5 kids too. So, we got to move on with life. There's too much going on.
What is the advice you will give to a younger yourself?
Be more courageous, be more aggressive. Don't be afraid of taking financial risk.
Once you have a revenue-generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
Conversations. So I plant seeds. I've got to plant little seeds, and then we talk about it, and I plant some more seeds and we talk about it. And that's my best bet at convincing. And it's got to be at the right time as well.
Who is your living mentor and what's the impact?
Yeah, I would say Tony Ford is a living mentor of mine. And what he's taught me in business is the number one rule in business is don't run out of money. And so you can break every other rule, but you can't break that rule.
Why being impactful is important to you?
It goes back to my purpose of my dream is to help you live yours. So the more people that I can help them live their dream and achieve their dream, I'm really fulfilling why I'm on planet Earth.
What do you want to be remembered for?
Helping people reach their full potential. Yeah.
How can we support you?
Well, with my book launch would be the best way to support me right now. My book comes out March 8th, and it's called The Executive Leader's Handbook. But right now I'm building a launch team, so people can go to booklaunch.drewtjackson.com and they can sign up. They'll get a free copy of the book, and they can help me get this wonderful information that's been getting great results with my clients out to as many people as possible.
We are about to wrap up. I like to have a few words about your today's guest experience on the show. Here's my question. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the show?
It has been fantastic. I've had a joy. I didn't think I would be able to answer all those rapid fire questions, but you set me up. You set me up for success, and I appreciate that.
What would you say as a final word?
As a final word, I would just once again invite people to be on my book launch team. I think it's the best way that I can add value to people right now. And the two types of people that I would invite are leaders and aspiring leaders, and then aspiring authors, people who desire to write a book one day, whether it's on leadership or anything else. Because in this book launch, they're going to learn the process of how to get the word out to as many people as possible. They're going to learn from my successes, and they're definitely going to learn from my failures in doing this process. So yeah, if people want to sign up at booklaunch.drewtjackson.com, then I'd love to continue this conversation with you all there.
Hey, Drew, are you open to the idea of taking one question from the audience?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it.
Okay, here's the question. What parameters determine the goals are achievable?
Yeah, that's a great question. So that's something you have to be realistic with yourself, do a SWOT analysis, and understand your skill sets. If you are a 35-year-old, 5-foot tall male that weighs 100 pounds, and your goal one day is to be a professional NFL football player, then I would say you probably need to reconsider, right? Because your physical makeup and your age are limiting you in that way. So determine what you're really good at, and look back at where you found success in the past, and and then what you want to do, what you're passionate about. Where those things converge is probably where you're going to find some achievable goals.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Drew, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.